Hello. Hello, good afternoon, guys. I hope you guys are doing great. Today, we're going to talk about the general application process for a green card. Happy Friday, guys. Join us. We're live. We're having some fun here at the office, speaking with clients and helping them with their immigration issues throughout the US. Okay, so normally people ask me, how do I get a green card? How do I apply for a green card? Today we'll be going through some of the ways in which you can get a green card and what the general application process looks like. Okay. So first of all, welcome guys, welcome everyone, welcome. So first of all, the first question to ask yourself is, are you eligible to apply? So you have to, of course, be eligible before you apply for a green card. And there are a variety of ways in which you can, be eligible to apply for a green card. So the eligibility requirements will depend on, of course, your individual situation. So many factors. There's different eligibility criteria. You can qualify to file a green card depending on your individual circumstance. Okay. The most common way is being sponsored. So yes, you can be sponsored for a green card. Somebody can sponsor you for a green card. Okay, so people have to sponsor you. So again, it comes down to, the life principle of who you know. Okay, so who do you know? You need to have great people in your network who are willing to sponsor you, or even, well, it's not even so much a matter of great people, but also you need to have the right connections in terms of your family members. Who's your family member? If you have a family member who's a U.S. citizen, of course they can sponsor you, okay? Or they have a business and they want to employ you, then they can sponsor you through employment. Okay, so somebody has to sponsor you, usually, for you to get a green card. And normally, if you're trying to get a green card, you're going to have to complete at least 2 forms. The immigrant petition, and then you will complete the green card application itself. That's the I-485. Okay. And someone else would have to file the petition for you. That is the sponsoring, the sponsor or the petitioner. The sponsor or the petitioner will have to file the first part of the petition on your behalf. Okay. But in some cases, you are eligible to actually sponsor yourself for a green card. You guys have, that if you are, for example, an abuse victim of a U.S. citizen or green card holder, in those type of situations, you can file a green card for yourself. Also, if you are a DV lottery winner, then, you qualify by your own merits to get a green card, and the DV lottery will be coming soon. Again, normally it's is it October, in the month of October, November, somewhere around October and November. So guys, be aware of this. If you are looking to partake in the diversity visa lottery, the DV lottery, the green card lottery, then keep your ears on the ground, and then you can try to partake and then see what your chances are. So let's continue. Normally, the other question to ask is, where are you based? If you're trying to get a green card, you need to ask, where are you based? You can either be based here in the US or outside the US, and that will dictate what the process will look like for you. If you're here in the US, you will go through what is known as an adjustment of status process. If you are out of the US, you'll go through what is known as a consular processing. Okay, let me read a couple of comments and then we'll continue. Eric Atta says, live from Ghana. Oh, that's awesome. Hello, Eric. How are you doing? I understand there are some heavy rains in Accra today. I don't know if you're based in Accra or outside Accra. So yeah, Manassas is very hot this afternoon. Virginia, Northern Virginia, where I'm based, is very hot today. We're still in the summer mode. And then Bernice Agbenowu says, live from Ghana. Hello, Bernice. Happy to have you here. All right, so guys, let's continue. So where you are will dictate what type of application that you have to, what the application process for you would be. So an adjustment of status, if you're here in the US, you will go through an adjustment of status process, and that is with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. However, if you're outside of the US, then you go through what is known as consular processing. That is usually with the US Department of State, that is with the embassy, the U.S. embassy in the country where you are based. Okay, so that's let's see where to move on to from there. Okay, so let's talk about the general application process. So this is a caveat. The steps you're going to take to apply for your green card, of course, will it varies depending on your individual situation again and the circumstances surrounding your application. However, I'm going to give you a general overview of what most applicants will expect to go through with their application. The first thing is that someone will usually file the immigrant petition for you, okay? And that is often referred to as we stated, as a sponsoring or petitioning. Well, that's what it's called. They're sponsoring you or they're petitioning for you. So they are known as the sponsors or the petitioners. Okay, and then in some cases, as we said, you will be eligible to file for yourself. That's the first step. The second step is that USCIS needs to review the immigrant's petition, and then they need to approve or deny it. Or the third thing is they may issue an RFE, what is known as a request for evidence. So with the first petition, you're going to be establishing that, oh, you're eligible for the benefit. So the petitioner himself has to be eligible, number one, to file for you, and number two, there has to be a certain type of relationship between the petitioner and the person they're filing for, who's the beneficiary. What's going on? Is that your spouse? Is that your child? Is that your father? Or whatever that is, that relationship needs to be defined. And once you've defined it properly through your application, then the USCIS will review it and then, approve it or deny it or issue an RFE, a request for more evidence. If you fall under the immediate relative, for example, then there's no wait time for visas. However, if your case is a preference immigrant category case, then they need to make sure that there's a visa available in your category. Okay, so at that point, you're going to be looking at your priority date, the issue of priority dates, visa bulletins to see where you fall. So when you file any type of application, you are given what is known as a priority date, and that priority date will dictate your queue in the line. So sometimes you will have 500 people who have applied ahead of you. And so if you're 501, that will be your priority date. But 501 is converted into a date. So let's say if you file your application today, if you file your application, let's say last week, and you submitted it to the USCIS and they issue a receipt notice, and they say that, okay, your priority date is 2nd September 2021. That means that all the people ahead of you, 1st September 2021, those people are all ahead of you because you are 2nd September 2021. So that's your priority date and that's your place in the queue. Means that they have to serve all the people ahead of you, give them their visas or, conduct their interviews, review their cases, and then adjudicate their cases before they come to you. So the bottom line is the earlier you file, the earlier your application falls in queue, and then you can be reunited with whomever you need to be reunited with. And then the next thing is under that second umbrella, let's talk about the fact that you will either file, depending on, as we stated, whether you're here in the US or you are out of the US. Sorry, phone blowing up. Then if you are here in the US, then you will file your green card application with the USCIS if the immigrant petition is approved. If you are out of the US, then your visa application will be filed with the Department of State. So after that, you're going to go for a biometrics appointment. You provide your fingerprints, your photos, and a signature. That's what the biometrics appointment is. And then you'll go for an interview. At the interview, you're going to meet an immigration officer. And here's where I recommend that you try to go with an attorney, because sometimes the officers misinterpret the law. Sometimes they some of them are not attorneys, so they misinterpret the law or do not understand. So I remember a client I went for an interview with here in Fairfax, Virginia. and the officer was completely misinterpreting the law. And I pointed it out to him that that was a very gross misstatement of the law. And he asked me, do you have proof of that? And I did. I had my statute and everything, and I read it out to him and interpreted it properly. And because of that, we were able to win that case. So you go for an interview, but a lot of these immigration officers misinterpret or clearly mistake the law, or sometimes out of sheer misunderstanding of what the law actually says and how it applies to your case. So you go for the interview, but before then you need to do a lot of work, your homework. Well, make sure you've reviewed your application, and you understand what your rights are and be able to articulate them. Of course, you don't need to be able to articulate what your rights are. That's what an attorney is there for. So you need to make sure you hire somebody that can assist you with those types of things. Okay. And then you will receive, of course, after going for the interview, you then receive a decision on your application. It could be a yes, it could be a no, or it could be a maybe. Okay. The yes means an approval, the no means a denial, and then the maybe could be an RFE that you need to respond to, or sometimes they'll issue a NOID, a notice of intent to deny. That means they have some derogatory information about you, showing that you don't qualify and they're about to deny you, and then you need to respond very strongly, because a NOID is very strong. It's really a very strong document because they have the intention to deny you. It means the officer has a stamp, his rejection stamp, his denial stamp up in the air, waiting to just stamp no. That's a NOID. Okay, so at that point, you need to send a very strong rebuttal or a very strong response as much as you can to that notice of intent to deny. And then see if that will turn your fortunes around. Okay, so let's also talk about if your case is pending with the USCIS. Once your case is pending with the USCIS, you just need to breathe in and out. Have your receipt notice somewhere. Once you send in your application, they send back a letter with a receipt notice, and it's usually about a 13 digits or whatever. Sometimes starting with 3 letters, let's say MSC, and then some digits. And you can put this receipt notice in a case status tracker on USCIS website, and then follow the evolution of your case. But sometimes it's really difficult because USCIS does not update their case statuses often. They sometimes do update it, but sometimes you may not get any information. Sometimes they update it maybe 6 months ago, and things have progressed far beyond what the case status is telling you. So there's that. So yeah, don't hold your breath with the case tracking system. It's not like real time. Like maybe if they take a decision yesterday, it won't really reflect today. Sometimes some people have it. Some people are lucky; it might reflect as soon as they do, but usually not. Okay, let me see if we have a couple of comments, and then we're going to be going away. Oh my goodness, Daniel David Corte says live from Manassas, VA. Oh my goodness, Manassians in the house. That's nice. Okay, you're right here around us. Okay, so we hope we're going to be seeing you sometime. Okay, Daniel, come visit us with your immigration issue. Okay, so Godwin says, hello, Madam. Last, your outfit asked me to leave my contacts behind and you will get to me, but I didn't hear from you people. I'm sorry about that. Oh my goodness, my assistants are like really busy. We get the phones calling and there's just so much she has to do. The in-house person is also quite busy, so we will try to get back to you when we can. The best way, you guys have all the contacts there, how to book a consult. If you are looking to book a consult, simply go online and then just book, because sometimes we have, hundreds of calls coming in during the week, like 200, hundreds, and she has to track all of them, follow up. So it gets really exhausting. We have calls also coming in from our business line through the WhatsApp. She also handles that as well. So it gets really exhausting. So please go ahead and just book a consult, because she's really just going to help you book a consult. There's really nothing else she's going to do for you. So you can save yourself the time. Go ahead on our website, book a consult, or on my Facebook page, and then just book a consult and you speak directly with me. I'll look at your case strategically, or I will give you the advice that you need for your situation. All right, guys. So drop me comments on how you guys are spending the weekend. It's not all about law today. Let's hang out a few more minutes and then I will be gone. Thank you guys so much for watching. But yeah, let me know how you guys spending the weekend and what you guys are up to. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I got it all wrong. Today is Thursday, right? Okay, I now understand why I thought today was Friday. Yes. Today is Thursday, but I said today is Friday. Forgive me. So tomorrow I have some things lined up as though it's a Saturday. So yeah, forgive me. I'll be busy tomorrow with a few things and it looked like a Saturday. Yeah, my weekends can get a little crazy. Sometimes it looks like a Friday. Sometimes my Fridays look like Saturdays. It's just messed up. The life of an attorney here, sometimes very stressful. So yeah, very stressful. Lots of pressure. You know, we're dealing with very life-changing situations and sometimes the immigration anxiety on the clients. We sometimes have to bear that burden because once a client hires you, the problem is no longer that problem. It now becomes my problem. And so I'm carrying a lot of people's burdens, making sure that my team is doing the best that they can to assist our clients. So it's a very, very heavy burden to bear. All right, people. So I guess we've had a nice chat for today. It's Thursday. Forgive me for that. The days are all mixed up. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. Let me leave you and we will talk again soon. Please take care. Bye-bye.